today I was undertaking a course, and in that course we were also talking about the fact that attachment is a vice. Yes, and Baba comes and tells us that lust, anger, ego, attachment, and greed are vices. But do we get that? Yes, we always think that, Baba says it is a vice, but maybe attachment is good, or at least it feels good. Yes, so, and there was this interesting question that this girl put up, and she was saying that, attachment many a times makes you do many things which you wouldn't do otherwise. So how could that be a vice? So I said, give me an example. So she said, let's say the house is burning and my child is there inside. So because of my attachment, I would dive into the fire and save the child. Yes, so the attachment would drive me to save the child. So I told her, see, there are many possibilities in this case. First is you dive into the fire and then you burn yourself along with the child. Second is you save the child and both of you come out, right? Now, if the first is true, then you are a person who can fight fire. You have that capacity, right? Now, let's take another scenario where you are this person who has the capacity to dive into the fire and then save someone, but it is not your child but your maid's child who is there inside. Then what would you do? You wouldn't use your capacity because you are not in attachment with them. Yes, and if in the first case you are not that person who has the capacity to dive in and save, then it would be very foolish for you to go and burn yourself because of attachment. So, and if you have the capacity to save, why will you only dive in for your child? Why not for anybody who is, burning in the fire? So, is attachment a good thing? Attachment will make you restrict your, qualities and your capacities to only those who you are attached to. And Baba says the opposite of attachment is not detachment. The opposite of attachment is love. And love is universal. Attachment is very body conscious, very limiting in nature. And Baba says, every child of mine is very endowed and very capable, and we can contribute a lot to the world. But because we are attached to some 2, 3, 4 souls, we limit our contribution to them and we neglect the whole world. So Baba says the opposite of attachment is not, you just dissociate yourself or you just, corner yourself, and it's not like you dissociate yourself from the one you are attached to. The opposite of attachment is you have this attitude of universal love where all your resources are available for everyone. So if I have the capacity to go and save somebody, then I save everyone who is in trouble, irrespective of caste, creed, gender, age, social status, everything. So Baba is, and it takes a lot of time to understand that attachment is actually a vice. And when you are attached, you think that you think that all your resources are available only for these few souls who you are attached to. B, you think that you are those few souls who you are attached to are responsible to give you emotional, physical, financial well-being. Yes, so you think that you have a right to source everything from these four souls. And Baba says that every vice has this interesting capacity that they cloud your intellect. They just cover your buddhi and they don't allow you to see the obvious. And what is the obvious? The obvious is that those whom you are attached to, they are all weak souls. And you are expecting them to give you physical, financial, social, spiritual, emotional sustenance, whereas their physical, social, financial, emotional capabilities are very limited. So how can they give you something that they don't have? But the thing is, when you are attached, you can't see that. And attachment, every vice is like, every vice blinds us. So, it's like the soul is blindfolded and you can't see what is very obvious. And I remember there was this one lady, and she's into mental health education, and she can see, she has that education and that capacity to see how mentally unwell another person is. Yes, because she has studied that psychology and this and that. But when it came to her father is suffering from a lot of anxiety and other disorders which are mental disorders. But she would be very complaining towards her father. And she would always have complaints from her father, and she would never have compassion for her father. Why? Because she always has expectations, which are not met from the father. And then I told her, can't you see he's a patient? He is not in his right senses. He doesn't have the capacity to listen to what you're saying and respond appropriately. He is not in his senses. Why are you arguing with him? Why are you after his life? And she would tell me, no, I just go crazy, I feel this man is not taking any responsibility, not doing this, that, and the other. And then I would just try to make her see that, this is not a healthy mind that you're talking to, or that person is not capable. But because there is attachment, and because there is a lot of feeling of disappointment because of that attachment, so you're not able to see it clearly, what is the state of that being. So attachment blinds you, and you are not able to see the obvious, and you're not able to see what the soul has to offer. You are only concerned about what you want from the soul. but you are not able to appreciate their condition, whether it is physical or mental or whatever. So, the father has to be a superhero. Doesn't matter if his back is in pain and his back is broken. Doesn't matter. For the child, the father has to be a superhero. And the child will complain if the father is not a superhero. But not every father can be a superhero, right? Because we are all limited by our bodies and our minds and so many things. Until Baba comes and we start overcoming them, it's really difficult. And then you have false expectations, and then you have disappointments, and all this is because of ignorance, because you are attached, and any vicious soul is an agyani soul. So no sense and sensibility is working. So this is why you are expecting something and then you are getting disappointed. And everybody can see the obvious. They can see, other people can see that the other person is doing their best and they are not capable of more. But the one who is in attachment will not stop complaining. Yes, so attachment will either make you complain a lot, or it will make you, restrict your world, your capacities, your resources to these 1, 2, 3, 4 souls, and not allow you to be a world server. Then the third thing which Baba is pointing out today very specifically is, when you are attached, you cannot see that the other soul has their own journey. Yes, you start. So, as soon as you say mine, you think that you have ownership over their fortune, and you are in some way, you have the superpower to affect their journey. And whenever you say mine, you forget that that's an individual soul. So what is knowledge? What is truth? The truth is every soul is different, their journey is different, and you have to perform that journey together. So you're just walking alongside each other, but everybody's journey is different. This is the truth. But when you are in attachment, you cannot see that the soul is different. You cannot see that the soul has limitations, and you cannot see that your journey and their journey are different. They are not like you in your qualities or your journey. And fourth thing is, you try to, you are trying to, you're trying to decide their journey. You take ownership of their journey, which is very dangerous, because there is a very simple law. If you try to intervene in anybody's karmic journey, that is not possible, but in an attempt to do so, you will mess up your own. So, when you lose this clarity that you don't have any control over any soul's karmic journey, then this loss of clarity will make you desperate, and you will mess up your karmic journey because of that. Yes, and every soul has a karmic journey. And what is your job? Your job is to facilitate their journey. Yes, so every soul has their own karmic settlements, their own path, their own destination. Your job is to facilitate their journey, not decide their journey, not intervene in their journey. But do we understand the difference between these two? Yes, so that's the question. So let's take an example. So let's say somebody you call your own, the spouse, the child, the parent, they are physically unwell. You are not the one who can decide when they will get well. Yes, they have their own karmic settlements, and the nature of karmic settlement is it comes, it persists until it has to, and then it leaves. And what is your job? Your job is to give them the physical, emotional support, yes, at that time, and give them mental strength, give them Baba's, strength and Baba's love and everything that you have. But if you start worrying about when they will get well, that is none of your business. Yes, that is between Baba and that soul. That's none of your business, because when they will get well is about their karmic journey. And when you start overstepping, when you start asking these questions, when will they get well? Why are they not getting well? Until when will they suffer? Then what have you started doing? You have started suffering because of them. So you cannot make them get better or faster, but you can start feeling unwell along with them. So you cannot speed up their karmic settlement, but you can start suffering along with them. That is what is called, you cannot intervene in anybody's karmic journey. But if you don't understand this and you attempt to do that, then you will mess up your own. And then you will start suffering the suffering that was actually somebody else's suffering. So this is why you need a very wise intellect to understand, to go about in relationships. So in relationships, Baba says you have to be a trustee, and you have to take care, you have to sustain, you have to facilitate, but don't intervene in their karmic journey. Physical suffering, emotional suffering. So let's say, give you one example. So there was this one girl, and her father had brought her to the center, and the girl had had a breakup. She's 16-year-old and she had a breakup, and she was very heartbroken, and the girl was crying, and the father was crying with her, and the father was saying to the girl that if you keep crying, I will commit suicide. So I can't see you crying, so if you cry, I will go and kill myself. So then they were sitting before me and all this drama was going on. And then I said, why don't you both allow me to help you commit suicide? Both of you commit suicide and this whole task will be over and it will be good. So then she said, no, Didi, we have come. So what have you come for? She is saying, I'll commit suicide for the boy. You are saying, I'll commit suicide for you. What is going on? Your whole family is suicidal or what? Why are you in such a hurry to commit suicide? So I said, if she is in pain, you help her, and you've done the right thing by bringing her to the center. Then why speak such words that I will commit suicide if you cry? She said, no, Didi, but I can't see her crying. So I said, if she cries for him and you cry for her, then both of you are actually doing the same thing. Then why are you stopping her from doing it? She's got it from you, isn't it? She's your mirror image. She's the same fool as you are. So this is what is happening. So if somebody is crying and you cannot stand their crying, you can cry with them. But can you stop them from crying? Even emotional pain, until you deal with emotional pain, you will suffer. And everybody's suffering is individual. And when somebody is emotionally suffering, if you are trying to push them to see the obvious, sometimes you're trying to, cry with them, sometimes you're shouting at them. Can't you see that boy is a cheat and he's just playing with your emotions and he's doing that, this and the other. But can that person see that? You cannot drive them to see what you can see and they can't see. You can share with them your opinion, that's okay, but you cannot drive anybody to see what you can see. You cannot drive anybody to feel the way you feel. You cannot drive anybody to think the way you think. They have their own journey. They will suffer until they do not learn from, do not choose to learn from God or from experiences or whatever. And what you have to do is, you have to show them the path, you have to facilitate, just like the father brought her here and then both of them got healed. So show them the path, tell them you can do this, or give them the emotional support, give them, I'm there, if you need anything, I'm there, and cook good food for them, make them happy. But don't try to decide, until when they will suffer. And don't start suffering because of them. So this is where, you need to have clarity that this soul is a separate soul. They have their own journey and I have to be with them, facilitate them. But again, you have to let go at some point of time, and you have to, because when somebody is drowning in water, what do? You lend your hand and then you try to pull them out. Until when? Until they start pulling you in. And if they start pulling you in, then you let go. Yes, that's a very good example of detachment. What is detachment? Give your hand, pull someone out until they don't start pulling you in. And when they start pulling you in, then take care of yourself first before you again try to pull them out. So when they start pulling you in, what do? You look behind you. Is there a rock? Is there a pole? You try to, cling on to that, and then you try to pull them again. Not that, you get emotional and then two of you will drown. Nobody will come out. So Baba says, it's very important that you see that, whenever you are overstepping, whenever you have started intervening in their journey, whenever you have started losing sight of, where the line is, then you first empower yourself with me and then give them the support. So if you're getting emotional in a relationship, if somebody's pain is affecting you, you first relieve your pain. Then you can pull them out of their pain. And just like, every virtue has its seed in soul consciousness and Baba's remembrance, even this virtue of love, free from detachment, has its seed in soul consciousness and remembrance of Baba. So when you're soul conscious, when you are in Baba's remembrance, only then can you have love and not attachment. Only then can you be a trustee. Yes, and Baba says, and when you are in remembrance of Baba, then you can take from Baba all that the soul needs and give it to them. And there is one sister, and she always tells me, Didi, my child is a teenager, and I really don't know what advice I should give the child, because my teenage was very different from their teenage. And she tells me that, sometimes I really fail to understand what they are going through or how to help them. So what I do is, I go to Baba's Murli every day. I understand some things and I just make a note of that and send it to my child every day. I just make a note of 4 or 5 points and I send it to my child every day. And I didn't know that this is helping my child, but I thought that, I'm Baba's child and this is also Baba's child, but in a role, this is my child right now. So let me give what my father is giving me. So, my father is giving me, so my father is the ocean of knowledge. He knows what to give the child. So probably that would be right for my child also. So it's his father also giving him. So I just make a note, 4 or 5 points, and I send it to my child. And then she said, Didi, I never knew that it is that my son is benefiting so much. And one day he wrote me a thank you note. And he wrote that, Mom, the points that you send are immensely beneficial. And especially when I am in some, in a dilemma or in a situation, these points help me a lot. So Baba says that, if you are in yoga with me, I will fill you with the awareness of what to say, how to be, what to do, everything appropriately. And this is why Baba has given us the law, Yog Yukt is Yukti Yukt, which means when you are in yoga, your actions will be accurate, not more, not less. And in order to be full of love and be a trustee and not overstep and be in your line, you have to have accurate yoga with Baba. And every day this knowledge that Baba is giving is the most gross form of having connection with Baba. Do this, churn the knowledge, come to a place where your heart, your mind is full of good wishes, good feelings, and then you can help everyone around you. And Baba says, another thing that you must do for all the souls around you is connect them to Baba. Baba today says, ask your child to remember Shiv Baba. Yes, and just ask yourself one question. Can you help that soul more, or can Baba help that soul more? So why do you want that soul to be restricted to you? Make them connect with Baba. Take them to the class, take them to know that Baba speaks to us every day through the Murli. And Baba is here solving our problems and answering our questions and giving us directions, everything through the Murli. And every child should be connected to the Murli. So Baba says, if you love souls around you, then the biggest act of love is to introduce them to the ocean of love. And I don't think that, any soul can take care of another soul these days, because we don't have the capacity. But if I remember Baba and I introduce every soul around me to Baba, then with each other also we will become very, very helpful. because two powerful souls will be able to support each other also. Two weak souls will only make each other miserable. So, the equation that we have been given in the world, half plus half is full. That's not so. It's not addition, it is multiplication. Half into half becomes 1/4. And if it is, when you are with Baba and you're one full soul, then you will be 1 plus 1, which is 1 plus 1, which is not even 2, it is 11. So this is a strange mathematics that will happen. So when you are with Baba, then 1 plus 1 will be 11, not even 2. And when you're without Baba, then half plus half, 1 will not be there. Half into half, 1/4 will be there. So this is why Baba says, understand this mathematics, and then you connect with Baba and you make everybody connect individually with Baba also, and through you also give them what Baba has given you. And this is an act of love, and don't confuse attachment for love, and don't mess up your karmic journey in an attempt to change anybody's karmic journey. So this is about attachment and trusteeship. What is trusteeship? Trusteeship is taking care without getting attached. Yes, helping without abusing yourself, abusing the relationship. So if you abuse yourself, you will ultimately abuse the other. Yes, so that is how attachment works. And then in the Murli today, Baba, many a times in the Murli, in many places, Baba is saying that, you in Satyug, you will have one religion, one caste, yes, and there will be one language, and there will not be two. So, there will not be duality in Satyug. And in this world, there are so many castes, so many religions, so many languages that it has caused a lot of havoc in this world. And do you understand that when there are many castes, many languages, many religions, then it's not just many, it's I'm better than you. Yes, it is always I'm better than you, and this one is lower, this one is superior, this one is less value, that one is more value. And there is a Mata who called some days back, she's not in Gyan, and she said that my daughter eloped. So, she used this word, my daughter eloped, she ran away from home. So I said, who did she run away with? So she said, she ran away with a boy who is, I said, is he from another religion? So she said, no. Is he from another caste? No. Same caste, but one notch lower. So, they are not the same as us, just, same religion, same community, but one notch lower they are. And that's why we cannot show face to the world, and we have lost our honor and this and that. And then she was relentlessly crying. And just look at it. The daughter is gone. She is settled. She has her own life now. Good or bad, we don't know. But whatever it is, she has made her choice. She is living her life. And what are you doing? One notch lower, one notch higher. And you are suffering because of that. And this is what we are doing in the world. So, you see somebody, you say that one is from a lower caste, and you start feeling, unhealthy inside because of looking at them. And then you are suffering because of your own belief system. So Baba says this is a very divided world now. And whenever there is two, there will always be this sense of this one is lower, this one is higher, this one is more valuable, this one is less valuable. And Baba says this is why in the golden age there is only one religion, one caste, one language, one kingdom, everything is one. And that is why there is no question of greater than, less than, and that is why everybody has mutual respect for each other. But how do we shift from this place to that? Yes, by moving away from the differences of language and religion and caste and everything, and coming to the language and religion and caste of the soul. Yes, so the bodies, so when you come to the body, the religion, caste, language, everything is different. But when you come to the soul, every soul has just one religion. What is the religion? Purity. So I have to maintain my spiritual religion of the spirit, that is purity. I have to maintain my spiritual caste. What is my caste? I'm a Brahmin, a giver. Come what may, I have to only give. Yes, I have to speak the language of the soul. The language of the soul is love. Doesn't matter what language you speak. If you are loveful, they will understand. And I have given courses to souls who do not speak the same language as me. And we've communicated very little and they have understood. Because the soul understands the language of love, the language of truth. If you speak the universal truth, every soul on the planet will get it. If you're speaking the language of love, every soul will get it. So Baba says, when you start coming to the spiritual consciousness and then you start upholding your spiritual religion, your spiritual caste duty, and your spiritual language, then you will slowly shift to that world of one religion, one caste, one language. Okay, Om Shanti.